All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to start with a beautiful sound of my meditation bowl. Enjoy the sound. And today's practice is really simple. However, the magic happens when we do it intensely, which is what we're going to be doing today for the next half an hour or so. We're going to ask the very simple question and stay with that feeling. What is it like to be myself? So this is not something you have to mentally answer. It's just that feeling of yourself. So right now in this moment, notice the edges of yourself, the boundary of yourself. Could be as simple as your skin, could be a few inches outside of your skin, could be outside in the room, or even inside the body, doesn't really matter. What is your sense of self in this moment? What is the edge of yourself in this moment? And just go ahead and taste that. Go ahead and feel that. And it's really important throughout this practice. It's not about changing anything. It's not about judging anything. It's not about trying to change, like make my sense of self something bigger or smaller or nothing. It's just about noticing your sense of self. What does it feel like? What does it taste like to be yourself? Exactly the way you experience that self in this moment. And it's about witnessing this sense of self. Your eyes can be open or closed, doesn't really matter. It's more about being in touch with this sense of self. We taste all kinds of experiences in this world. Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. Food, places, people. All kinds of experiences. Books, movies. In this moment, just taste yourself. Without judgment. without control, without manipulation. Anything we observe in a relaxed way, in an unhurried way, without an agenda, starts to reveal all its secrets to us. Intensity of yourself, intensity of tasting yourself, knowing yourself, being yourself. So for once, really sharpen the focus on what is it like to be yourself. Might feel pleasant, might feel too close for comfort. For some of you, it might even feel really bitter. It's all right. Witness. A lot of because of our conditioning, a lot of our time goes in judging the ego, the sense of self. He has such a big ego, she has such a big ego. A lot of judgment on the ego, but for now, just taste this ego, the sense of separation, the sense of being an individual, the sense of being an entity, a somebody. So you're just allowing yourself to be yourself and tasting that unhurriedly, without any specific expectation that something will happen. And just keeping that sense of self in focus, however it feels. The ancient teaching, know thyself. To know oneself, one has to observe oneself in a very unhurried, relaxed way. And that's exactly what we are practicing now. And expand this exploration. There is, of course, the edge of yourself. Might be the skin, might be a little outside the skin, what we call our personal space. We don't like it when people stand too close to us. That could be your edge of yourself. It could be even bigger, it could be your whole house. It could be the whole room. Or it could be something even smaller. It could be the heart area. It could be anything. So now explore not just the edge, but what's inside the edge. That entire inner area. And check. What does it taste like? And get familiar with all the frequencies that constitute you. The very act of observing the sense of self without doing anything else a sort of cleansing, lightening, purification begins. And even if it's not pleasant sometimes, deep down we know it's really healthy. It's really healthy. It's leading inward and onward. To a greater clarity and stability. Changing the repetitive patterns, changing tracks to something broader. The very act of observation. And also explore the other side of the edge, whatever your edge is of yourself. Just sense what's on the other side. What's beyond that edge. Can you taste anything at all on the other side of that edge? What you might call the world. This is me and that's the world. What's the frequency of that? What's the taste of that? For some of us, all of this is really unfamiliar. We're not sure what to do. Well, notice that. Notice what comes up with the unfamiliarity. So there's the edge of ourself and the taste of that. There's what's inside the edge. There's what's beyond the edge. And now come to the edge itself and check, is it a very sharp edge? Or is it a diffuse edge? Can you find a very sharp boundary between self and the world? For example, is it the skin? Then experientially come to skin level and check, is it a sharp edge or is it a diffuse edge? The sense of yourself. Wherever you feel it, however you perceive it, is it a sharp edge? And if it is a sharp edge, zoom into that edge and check. And as you zoom in, again check on the inside, on the outside. How does the taste change? The taste of yourself. It's like a bubble. Inside of the bubble, outside of the bubble. It's so fascinating. Objectively, we look at it. There's air on the outside, air on the inside of this body. Water on the outside, water on the inside. Temperature on the outside, temperature on the inside. Earth element on the outside, earth element or solidity on the inside. Space on the outside, space on the inside. And yet, the moment I drink that water, it becomes me. The moment I breathe in that air, it becomes me. The moment I eat that food, it becomes me. It's me. It's different from the world. I certainly don't equate my body with something solid on the outside. It's very different. So now go even further and come on the inside of that edge, that inner world, that sense of me in here. Does it have a center? Does it have a clear, fixed center? Or does it not have a clear center? Check. There's no right answer to this. If it does have a clear center, what some call their soul. Well, then check, is it a point? Is it a ball? Is it a very distinct thing, or is it a diffuse thing? It's not about imagining, it's about exploring. What is the edge of myself? What is inside this edge? What is outside this edge? What is this edge? What is the center of myself? And again, beyond that edge, how far does it extend? Beyond my sense of myself, there is the world of what I know, isn't it? That's a bigger bubble. Or at least it's another bubble. What I know. So even with eyes closed, I know what my house looks like, or where I am, what it looks like. I know what this world is like, this country is like, this planet is like. To some extent, what this solar system and universe is like, or at least I think I know. Where does that extend? And how far does that go? And is there a boundary? Is it a clear boundary, or is it a diffuse boundary? Are these all real things, or are they all imaginations? Just because it feels real doesn't make it real. In a movie, we feel all kinds of things, but we know very well that nothing's really happening. And from the beginning of this exercise, we've been asking, what is your sense of yourself? Inside that, outside that. But notice this whole time, something's been witnessing. Something's witnessing the boundary. Something's witnessing inside the boundary, outside the boundary. Limits of this boundary. What is that? If this is the self, then what is that which is witnessing? So zoom into that now. That which knows. What does it taste like? Feel like? And the moment we identify that as anything, well, what is it that observes that, knows that, sees that, witnesses that? Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi called this hunting the eye. Hunting the eye. But hunting seems to have an assumption of wanting to kill something, so I'm not going to say hunting the eye, just meeting the eye. Let's not even assume we have to kill anything or transcend anything. Let's just get familiar with what is. Don't be impatient to get to some other dimension or some other space. That is to deny the sacredness of this experience. Just because you don't understand the sacredness of this experience doesn't mean it's not sacred. And now all of yourself. Taste all of yourself. The normal sense of self with a clear boundary, or even not a very clear boundary. The one that watches that, and watches that, and watches that. All of yourself, including the limits of what you know, and beyond that. Including all past ideas of self. And future possible selves. In this moment, taste all of it and just let them be. And let the separation between all these sense of selves, all these bubbles of self, let the separation between all these bubbles, in this moment, let that separation end. And taste the undiluted being without boundaries. And you can continue with this practice for as long as you like. I'm going to read a random Buddha doodle for this morning. And it says, dance. Dance wherever you may be. Let me see if I can put on a flash so you can see this. Dance wherever you may be. How beautiful. So enjoy this dance of you, the sense of you. It is a dance. The dance of these boundaries of you expanding, contracting, all these different bubbles of who you think you are. And how beautiful we have intensely practiced ourself, myself, explored the sense of self. From I am this and I am that to simply I am. I am. And as we familiarize ourselves with this dance of I am, at the right time, at the right timeless time, we awaken to a greater I am, prior to the I am, our true nature, our foundation. And the foundation of that foundation. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful, stable, serene, and clear day. Lots of love. Be happy. Be happy.